Today on Saltiness and Bliss, sometimes you find a great recipe and sometimes a great recipe finds you. So the recipe of the day is BLT Stuffed Eggs. I have been gifted this recipe from a friend who was honoring her late grandmother by copying and sharing her recipes. So let's get started. So we want to hard boil 6 eggs. I've already taken care of that. Not sure if you can see that. There they are. So hard boil 6 eggs, let them cool. Once they're cooled, take the shells completely off. Then we want to cut our eggs lengthwise. So we want to cut them all so they look something like that. Then in a bowl, we are going to dump our yolk. So I've just let it plop right out of there, kind of check to see if there's a lot of yolk still in there. You can always scoop it out if there is. That one came out pretty clean. And then we're going to do the same with that egg. So we're just going to plop it in there. So now we've got all our hard-boiled eggs minus the yolks here. And we've got all our yolks in the bowl here. Next step is we want to take 1/4 to 1/3 cup of mayonnaise, any style mayonnaise, and we want to add it to our yolk. So we're going to add it in our bowl like that, and then we're going to take our spoon and we're going to break up those yolks and we're going to mix them well with our mayonnaise that we've just added to the bowl. It's very, very creamy, so I would say if you want it to be extra creamy, go with the 1/3 cup, otherwise stick with the 1/4. Our yolk and our mayo all creamy mixed in our bowl. Next step is to take our bacon, and in this case mine is fresh out of the stove, or out of the oven. Did not cook it on the stovetop, although you can. Mine just came right out of the oven, and we want to chop that and put that directly into our mixture in our bowl. So what I'm going to try to do here is hold it with my tongs because it is still a little too hot to handle, and then just cut it with my scissors, and as I cut it, let those pieces fall right into the bowl. Now you guys can go with any kind of bacon you like. They do make a reduced sodium bacon. And also, you can even find already cooked bacon. So that will speed up the process and you won't have to actually cook it. It comes ready to eat right out of the package. So you could go that route as well. So I am just cutting that up as best I can. I'll come back to my small pieces here in a minute. Of course, the whole house smells like bacon, and I have the dog right below me here just in case some of that bacon falls off onto the ground. There is our bacon. So now once you get all of that in the bowl, you do want to give that a real good mix. Next up will be our tomato. Bacon is all mixed in. Next up is our tomatoes. So I took 2 cherry tomatoes, cut them lengthwise, used my spoon with the flat edge, scooped all the seeds out, so we want to de-seed them. And then we want to just take these, and what I did is I cut it in half lengthwise. So I cut it like that, and then I just butted those 2 halves up to each other and cut the ends into these little pieces. So it almost looks like I diced the tomato. So that the pieces are small and they will mix in to my yolk mixture well. So we want to put all of those in there. And just like we did with the bacon, we want to take our spoon, mix it well. So there it is, pre-mixed. The dog still hasn't found that piece of bacon that's on the floor. Not sure how. I think she's too mesmerized by what I'm doing here at the table. Oh, this is really starting to come together and look like BLT. All right, so there is mixed with the tomatoes. So now we want to add in a 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. You can always go with fresh. Anytime my recipes call for herbs, feel free to use fresh if you have it or you just prefer to work with that. I would love to use fresh, I just don't always have it. And pepper. So any kind of pepper, and the pepper is to taste. So I'm just going to put a nice little layer on the top. So there's that. And of course, this recipe, like most recipes that come from different generations, it calls for salt as well. The salt was to taste. We're going to eliminate that recipe, or excuse me, that ingredient, because we are a reduced sodium cooking channel. But if you have salt substitute or some kind of salt-free seasoning that you want to put in place of that, please feel free. So there we go. Our pepper and our parsley are all mixed in. So now I'm going to give you a real nice close view. So here is one of our hard-boiled egg halves. And what we're going to do, I'm going to use a different spoon because that spoon's just a little too big. Let me try this one. I'm going to use my spoon with the flat edge. And I'm going to just place it in there and kind of scoop, or not scoop, scrape. Scrape the spoon on the edge there to just get it all off of the spoon and into my egg. And you're just going to repeat those steps until you've used up your yolk mixture and filled all of your hard-boiled eggs. There we go, there's the next one. Now, of course, if you want to sprinkle an additional flavor on top, like paprika, more pepper, anything else you can come up with, maybe even a little cheese, go for it. The original recipe does not call for that, so I want to honor the original recipe. But no harm in adding an additional flavor on there. So thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time, and I hope you will give this tasty recipe a try.